So I feel like I've had a couple of moonshots, to be honest. I've had a moonshot that wasn't successful, right, which was probably my run for United States Congress, and lost devastatingly, got like 19% of the vote. But my second moonshot, which I feel like I'm still working on right now, is teaching millions of girls how to code. And I feel like, it's funny, I watched the President's State of the Union speech a couple of days ago, and the fact that he mentioned coding 3 times was so powerful for us as an organization, because when we started in 2012, it wasn't a conversation that people were even thinking about. And so quickly, I feel like, and the person I attribute this to is just our girls. They're huge ambassadors for the movement, and I think by generating this type of excitement amongst young people and young girls kind of raising their hands saying, yes, I want to learn how to code, has created this conversation, which I think is going to fundamentally shift the American economy. So I'm not a coder. I almost have no business starting an organization called Girls Who Code. I am a feminist, and I'm really passionate, and I guess I would say, so let's rewind. So I'm not a coder, and so I didn't come to this issue by experiencing this issue kind of professionally. And I don't care about gender parity for the sake of gender parity, even though I'm totally a feminist. To me, it was an American issue. The fact that we have 1.4 million jobs that are open in this space, and that women year after year after year are dropping out, and so many of the problems that we need to face in this country and in the world aren't being solved because we don't have women as innovators. That made me so, and desperate to do something about it. And so in many ways, it's become an obsession. I had just come off this traumatic loss for Congress, where I got my butt kicked, and it was, such a public humiliation to lose a race that I felt like I had jumped off a cliff and I had survived. And coming out of that moment too, I felt like there were a lot of commitments that I had made on the campaign trail that I was going to make a difference in people's lives. And I kept thinking about, well, what's the best way that I can individually make a change? And again, seeing this issue in New York City classrooms and seeing that girls were missing as a part of this conversation is what really inspired me. And it's funny, I think this moonshot, it's been an interesting experience for me, because in politics, I couldn't get a break. Everything always went wrong. And in Girls Who Code, it's there's $1 million in your PayPal account. Oprah wants to talk to you. It's just been so much love and unicorns, right? The world conspiring with you to create this movement. And so we've had so much support from people like Jack Dorsey and Sheryl Sandberg, people like John Legend, to support from volunteers and tech companies and educators who are so busy and have so much going on, but will spend the time to spend 4 hours in a classroom, to teach middle school girls how to computer program, to parents who are so desperate for their children to have access to coding education, to girls who will go through our programs and then teach another girl how to code, or be an ambassador and recruit a girl, go to Cambodia and teach orphans. I mean, it's so powerful that everybody who is touched by this organization does something to make it stronger and bigger and better. The most difficult part of launching my idea is that I can't teach girls fast enough. It's scale. And we've had tremendous scale. We taught 20 girls in 2012, and last year we taught 10,000 girls in 42 states. So we've had unprecedented growth, but there's so much demand, and I want to teach all of them. I love what I do. I feel like I have the best job in the world. I get to be around teenage girls all the time and be inspired by them. I think that for me, the hard part is, well, I'm a new mom, so that's hard. And wanting, and I'm a CEO of a growing company, and my staff gets bigger and bigger and bigger every single day. I have to raise more and more money every single day, and that's hard. I'm on a plane and a train, I feel like, every week. But I don't know, I feel like I always say to young people, it's for me, it's I've been in jobs that I hated them. And when Monday would roll around, I just wanted to crawl and stay in a fetal position, right? The thought of going to work was just so, and I hate holidays. I hate vacation. I love my job, and I love what I do, and I want to be doing it all the time. The biggest thing I feel like I've learned as a CEO is I often don't fire quick enough. When I know that it's not a fit, I often try to figure out every reason to make it right. And I think that what I've learned is that sometimes it's better to give kind of, real feedback and have a lot of candor up front than to shelter people. Our first group of girls really had a lot of them had little access to technology, like didn't have Wi-Fi at home, didn't have schools that had computers or smart boards, and so didn't know people who was coding. They just kind of fell into the program. And I remember the first year, I feel like we paid them like, $100 or $500, because I thought there's no way they were going to just even stay. Yeah. And not only did nobody drop out, but they fell in love with coding, and the things that they wanted to build were tremendous. I think the most interesting thing is the fact of like how we've built sisterhood. So like I literally have girls that are leaving homeless shelters in the morning, will go to Barry Diller's office to learn how to compute a program, go back to a homeless shelter. And they're sitting next to a girl who may have go to the best private school in New York City. And by the end of the program, they're best friends. I mean, they're crying because they've built this sisterhood and this friendship and this sense of community with one another. And whether it's a classroom in Los Angeles or it's a classroom in, Miami, I see it over and over and over again, this sisterhood and this sense of community that's built amongst the girls, and it's so powerful. I fail every day. Every day I fail. And I really am a big fan of failure. I wouldn't be standing here. And I feel like you gotta fail fast, fail hard, fail often. And it has really served me well. And it served our organization well because I'm not scared. Just do it. I think people always, for me it's always about like Girls Who Code was an experiment. Yeah. It couldn't have worked. Maybe it didn't work. Yeah. Great name, you know what I mean? It was great that my friend let me borrow a class, a conference room, but it couldn't have worked. Yeah. And I didn't have all the pieces together. Here I was again, not a coder. Yeah. How would I put together a curriculum? I wasn't an educator. It's not that I've been working in schools my whole life. I wasn't a nonprofit leader. So there were so many things that were working against me, and at so many decision points I could have been like, I don't have everything. An often thing I think, I'm speaking about this right now, but often I feel like women feel like we have to be perfect, that we have to have 100% of all qualifications, everything has to be ready. And men, they just kind of do it. And I think that we need to do that a little bit more. Like, just try, and you fail, and you try again.